Luke 24:13-35 is a powerful story that speaks to the heart of our human experience. It is a story of despair, confusion, hope, and transformation. It tells of two disciples of Jesus, who are walking along the road to Emmaus, discussing the recent events of Jesus' crucifixion and burial. They are struggling to make sense of what has happened, and to understand what it means for their faith. As they walk, a stranger joins them, and they begin to talk about the scriptures. The stranger explains to them how everything that had happened was foretold in the Old Testament, and the disciples are amazed by this teaching. Yet, they still do not recognize the stranger as Jesus himself. It is only when they sit down to eat together, and the stranger blesses and breaks the bread, that their eyes are opened. And they recognize that they have been in the presence of the risen Lord all along. This story has many theological implications that are relevant to our lives today. First of all, it reminds us that even when we are walking in confusion and despair, God is still with us, working to bring about redemption and renewal. The disciples were struggling to understand what had happened to Jesus, and they were feeling hopeless and lost. But God was still at work, even when they could not see it. This is an important reminder for us today, as we navigate the complexities of our own lives. Secondly, this story highlights the importance of community in our faith. The disciples were walking together, discussing their faith and their struggles. And it was only through the breaking of bread and the sharing of a meal that they recognized Jesus in their midst. This speaks to the power of community, to support us in our faith journey, and to help us recognize God's presence in our lives. Thirdly, this story emphasizes the centrality of the scriptures in our faith. The stranger on the road to Emmaus explained the scriptures to the disciples, and they were able to see how everything that had happened was foretold in the Old Testament. This reminds us of the importance of studying the scriptures and seeking to understand their relevance to our own lives. The scriptures can help us make sense of our experiences and provide us with guidance and wisdom. Finally, this story highlights the importance of the Eucharist in our faith. It is through the breaking of bread that the disciples recognize Jesus, and it is through the Eucharist that we are united with Christ and with one another. The Eucharist is a powerful symbol of our faith, reminding us of Christ's sacrifice and his love for us. It is a tangible expression of our connection to one another and to God. The story of Luke 24:13-35 is a powerful reminder of the hope and transformation that is possible in our lives, even in the midst of confusion and despair. By walking together in community, studying the scriptures, and sharing in the Eucharist, we can recognize God's presence in our lives and experience the love and grace of Christ. Amen.